Here we are again, back. Bit of a debate if we wanted to even record because it's international break.
Yeah.
Nothing really crazy happens. But we decided we're going to record. So welcome back to Ultras 11.
Yeah, we figured you guys were gonna miss us a little bit, so we just wanted to show us that you guys, hey, we're still here. We haven't gone anywhere.
We like playing hard to get sometimes, so that's why we distance ourselves from
we
you.
like the pull.
We
like that game.
I'm Joe still.
I'm still Al.
Perfect.
None of that has changed.
Like we said earlier, the international break, it's a good time for us because, it's one of those times we could just say whatever we want, debate whatever we want. Any topic matters because, it's international break.
Mhm.
How much could you really talk about with like that?
and
Nothing interesting sometimes.
I feel like these international breaks, it's always like the news and everything just about it. It's never really about the actual games. It's always some sort of thing that's going on in the football world, whether it's a transfer, something, just some news coming up, and it's just that's pretty much what our lives are, is just focusing on that stuff rather than actually caring about most of the results.
Yeah, and a lot of the times, like for teams, it comes at a good time. Like for Roma at least, Roma, maybe even Chelsea, United, long list. A lot of these teams maybe we're twerking for that because
they needed this break.
Yeah, we need that break. Other teams not so much because they're actually doing well. They're winning games. They're consistent. They're doing well, and they don't want to ruin that form. But hey, whatever, especially
when you start off on such like a strong foot and you're doing so well at the beginning, this international break absolutely sucks for you.
Yeah. For us, again, Roma, it's perfect.
Yeah.
We needed this break.
This was perfect timing.
Lukaku scored 2 today against Estonia, so Roma fans are twerking right now.
Off to a good start.
But anyways, sorry. A lot has actually happened for once in this international break. News-wise, Germany, apparently their biggest rivalry is with Japan because they lost again. Just like Italy, we're not just tripping you Germans here. Just like Italy, our biggest rival is North Macedonia. We can't beat them, apparently.
Newfound rival, but it's a big rival.
It's a crazy thing. We have Anthony doing what Man United players do best, apparently. Sorry, don't mean to sound offensive there.
Man, you right wingers. United right wingers.
Yeah, United right wingers need to be doing this. Since they can't score on the field, they do some other stuff. But we're not going to talk about Anthony because, again, like it's something that it's a touchy subject. We did touch upon Greenwood
and
2 weeks ago or whatever.
It's still so fresh too that I mean, there's not really much to talk about other than right now he's been dropped from Brazil. He's taking a step back from United. They both kind of agreed to focus on this, whatever's happening right now. So I mean, there's not much really you can say. Nothing's really come out. So that maybe we'll touch a base on that maybe, next week or the week after if news comes out on it and something, we see something happening. But right now it's way too fresh to even
it just looks like Prison FC is getting stronger and stronger. Anyways.
Soon we're going to make a topic if Prison FC can actually win Champions League.
That's going to be a good
if
debate.
They're a good enough team to win Champions League.
We got Gylfi Sigurdsson feeding them. No, can't talk like that. Not yet. But besides that stuff, there's actually some crazy reports. There's something we've always talked about this, especially during the international break. More stuff like this comes to light. There was an absurd rumor that I saw. I don't know if it was on Twitter, Reddit, or something like that, of Pep Guardiola being the number 1 candidate to replace Gareth Southgate at England. Now, first off, sorry about that transition. It was weak. Second off, what?
Joe didn't even try that.
Yeah, I don't really even care. But like before we even question such a rumor or anything like that, this is something, again, we talk about often. Mm-hmm. So, Alex, what are your thoughts on somebody of a different nationality coming in and coaching a national team? So, like a Spanish guy coming to coach an English team,
Yeah. I mean, Joe, at the end of the day, the way I looked at it before and how I always viewed like national teams, not just Italy, just every national team, is that, the coach should be either, an ex-player or just a coach from that nation. It shouldn't be, for England, have a Brazilian coach, and then for Brazil, have an Italian coach, and then for Italy, have a Spanish coach. For me, it shouldn't be like that. But, going in today's day, 2023, everything's changing, things are evolving, and I just feel like the coaches, especially like these like the nationalities that used to have like and produce some of the best coaches, just aren't really doing that anymore. And especially for a national team, it's very hard to come by. And I I get it now. Before I was really against it, but I get it now. Like there's like teams now are gonna turn that way, and you know what, you're gonna have teams like probably like Italy, like Spain, that are, you know, they're gonna really, you know, try to push to keep that like tradition like alive and keep it going.
France too, Germany,
like that's what I mean. Like those teams there, but I can see Germany.
Yeah, Germany will never.
Yeah, I can't really see them changing. I was gonna say they're gonna stay German. Only Germans coach Germany. But yeah, no, like I feel like other teams though will kind of start breaking away from that. England especially, just because like they're so desperate to win too.
Yeah.
And like they just they can't go another era of, you know, this is probably one of their best eras. They're all young still. You got to see how they end up turning out, but one of their best eras in a while.
Yeah.
And like
true.
they have they don't want to let it go to waste again like they've done with the other ones.
Yeah.
Because they all just hated each other and they couldn't become an actual team.
And you already see like Gareth Southgate, some of his choices that he's making in the starting 11, his subs, stuff like that. Like listen, England is a team that I'm genuinely afraid of, but with Southgate at the helm, I'm not as worried because he'll still play guys like Calvin Phillips or call them up. He'll still call up guys like Harry Maguire
and still play him.
Jordan Henderson is still starting in a midfield that, you know, like he has no business starting in. Even at the Euro, he had no business starting in. You know what I mean? Like there's so many players I look at and it's just like you have, like you said, Bert, before, probably the best team of your generation. You know, like England's team is actually stacked. They have depth, they have options, like whatever. But with a guy like Southgate at the helm, it's just crazy because some of his selections,
like some of them you would look at and you would genuinely think like maybe he's just playing because like, you know, there's no one else available. He didn't call up this anyone else. But then you look at like the bench and like the people that are there, and you're like, okay, why is he starting?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make sense. But there's other guys that like let's say Henderson, for example.
Yeah.
You know, Henderson's a great player. Everything he did with Liverpool. No, with Liverpool, like he was like a Totti, like a club player. He's more known for the get Joe riled up now. I hit him out of nowhere. Sideswipe like, Joe.
What?
But he's like one of those guys that he's just like, you know, good old reliable, can facilitate the ball. He's a good captain, good guy to have on the team. But the thing is, like they have so many midfielders and guys that can play that position and guys that are better now at that position than Henderson because of his age. He's, you know, as you get older, you know, you can't do the things you were doing before. You're not as fast as you once were. So it's not like they don't have those options. So that's where I don't get. That's when I look at Southgate and I'm like, okay, no, what are you actually doing now? Why is Harry Maguire and Henderson still starting in a game and still playing in a game?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, like I'm going back to the original thing. We're not talking about just England. It's the whole other nationality, coaching your team. Like I'm still against it. I personally don't like it even. Like I understand why it may come about, especially like for England's sake or, you know, some of the African teams or other teams like that. Like I get it. But at the same time, to me, I just feel like it's a weird thing. It's almost like the players, you know, like, oh, their great grandfather had an Italian citizenship, so he's going to play for Italy. For me, I don't like that. You know, like I look at it and for like, you could just think about these African teams. Do you understand how good they would be if they actually stayed true and there wasn't this rule that, oh, as long as you have some form of ancestry or citizenship, like there was, I can't remember who posted on Instagram, but I think it was like Transfer Market, but they posted a picture of how Nigeria could line up if they had, like everyone played for like whatever
from there could like Dude, ended up playing there.
Their team was fucking deezed. Like to me, I hate that because like it's just an unfair advantage now because you could have a team like England looking at Saka and say, hey, look what we did for you, though. You're the star boy of Arsenal. We love you.
Yeah.
So why don't you join our ranks?
Yeah.
And it's that easy. And like for me, I don't even like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you there, what's your stance on the players now joining like playing for another
nationality? With that, honestly, like that's never really been an issue for me. It's never really been a problem. As long as, you know, I mean, the player they're always going to choose something that'll benefit them. Like you've seen like Antonio, he's English. He could have he was playing for England. He was English. And then, you know, he saw he wasn't going to get the calls. He saw he wasn't getting the calls. So he said, you know what? I'm going to represent Jamaica. And he ended up going that route.
Yeah.
Players like that, like they're always going to look and, you know, see what's best for them. So I think if someone has a chance to, you know, they haven't like their grandfather's Italian and they have a chance that they can play for Italy, you know, they're good enough and they look at the team and let's say they're a striker and they're like, you know, Italy right now, don't really have like a solid number one guy that they're like, hey, yeah, this guy first name on the game sheet, like in the attack, like this is our guy. They don't have that. So you know what? Maybe I'll go Italian. Like I'm going to do that, and I'm going to play for Italy.
Yeah.
Like I get it, and I don't really ever see like dude, Camoranesi. He's Argentinian, but like you looked at him and anything, you tell anybody he's Italian, people would believe you.
Yeah.
Like
his name
there's
was
guys.
Mauro too.
No, I know, but he had Italian characteristics mixed with like Argentinian. He was just like a perfect guy, and like I wouldn't want to trade that for anything.
Yeah.
Like I like having that option. Obviously, like under certain things, like if people are kind of like, I don't know, there's not really way to really do it to kind of get your citizenship, because now with the old rules, now that you're allowed to, because now that they changed it. Before it was like if you played like a minute, you couldn't even play
if
with
you were called up.
Yeah, even if you were called up. Now it's a little bit more lenient, which I like that they did that, because a player gets called up when they're young, whatever, and then they don't ever get called up again. What, they're ruined now because they went that one time and they didn't play a match. So I mean, I for me personally, I like the rule. I would keep it forward. I don't see anything wrong with it. I don't see anything bad with it.
I just think of a what could be, and what could have been. Sorry,
Mourinho when he was going off with that thing. What do you say about like the African countries?
Players, yeah.
Dude, if they all stayed there, they would have had this many World Cups.
It's honestly, I would argue that's true. You know what I mean? Like, there's a good science behind it. Like, a lot of these players, if they stay true to their countries, like, look at what they could have accomplished.
Yeah.
It's all ifs, ands, or buts, whatever. I get that we don't live in this world, but at the same time, it's like, what could have been?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, at the end of the day, Joe, it's no one's gonna choose a country that it's not gonna benefit them.
Yeah,
no one's gonna choose France if, let's say, they know they're not gonna get called up because they look at the midfield. Like, but before, when the midfield was Kante and Rabiot, and they know they're not gonna break into that.
Yeah,
not Kante and Pogba. I say Rabiot. Thinking of the goal right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but we are gonna talk about Pogba. Right
no, I
now,
know, but Kante and Pogba. Kante and Pogba in that midfield. Sorry, you're fucking me up right now. No one's going to break in that midfield. So if you're a midfielder and you're looking at that team, you're not going to be like, yeah, okay, I want to get playing time. I want this. And going to go choose France. You're going to choose, maybe wherever, your mom's from or your grandfather's from, the other options you have.
Yeah.
So it's not always going to be to a top team and benefit them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's wrong.
At the end of the day, it's a player's choice. It's not like they're going out to sign players like, hey, change your nationality. Well, player's choice.
It's also a player's choice to take player enhancement drugs. Now... Juve has been the talk of the town for a hot minute now. Like last year, now this year again. The Agnellis, who owned the club for 100 years, maybe even longer. I don't know. I think it's 100 because I think it was 1923. Anyways, Bonucci's suing them for God knows what now. I don't even know. He's just a bum. And then, of course, since we're talking about nationality swapping and I mentioned performance enhancement drugs, Paul Pogba tested positive for using these performance enhancement drugs. So, Al, being the Juve fan, I'm sure you're going to defend him here.
I think he tested positive for COVID, but it got mixed up and like the wording and everything's the translation, and that's where I think like that's what happens. I think that's going to be cleared up very, very soon. It was a big misunderstanding.
So he was taking. Well, I was going to ask you what he was taking, but now what he was taking COVID?
Yeah, no, it wasn't. He has COVID.
Oh, he has COVID. Okay,
that was the big mistake.
They put the little
because they translated and they translated again to England. It was like from French to Italian to English. It was just a whole mix up. Okay, that's where it got mixed.
Okay, so it should be a good idea. Yeah. Okay.
But like,
what was he taking?
Hypothetically, if it did happen, we can talk about it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, enlighten us. What was this that he was taking? What's going on with him? So where's the club stand?
Apparently, apparently. So when he went over to the States, I don't know if it was in the summertime or if it was during international break, because obviously he didn't get called up to France, so he has some time to travel.
Obviously,
I don't know if it was during that. I don't know when it was. But apparently he got this cream that was like whatever, I guess like a healing cream or whatever. You just put on your body, on your muscles, like after you work out, and it just helps you like with recovery and all that stuff. In this cream, it has testosterone in it, which in the States within their sports and all that and the regulations, it's fine. Like it's nothing wrong with it, not illegal. You're good. But in Italy, things are different, and this is in the illegal side, and players cannot be taking this. So, obviously, from what I read this morning, apparently he brought it to Juve, like the medical staff showed it to them. They just recommended that he shouldn't be using it and that whatever. He ends up still using it, gets drug tested after the Udinese game, which makes no sense because he'd even feature in, and tested positive for a testosterone enhancement. Yeah. So, I mean, did he do it? Probably not.
This is another one of
annoying.
This is another one of those Onana situations where, like,
Literally.
oh yeah, his friend gave him pills because he had a headache.
Literally, man. Like, it's so fucking stupid. So annoyed by this.
What's the club stance? Where have they made a statement?
No,
have they said anything?
They came out. Yeah, I read the statement like very quickly. They just kind of came out and just kind of went over what's happening. They're standing by and they're kind of going to see what's happening right now. Obviously, he's not with the team. He's not playing with the team. Not with France. None of that. He's, kind of dealing with this, figuring this whole thing out. But, Juve is kind of just waiting to see what happens. But from what I've seen, they are saying that if it comes out positive and everything comes out and says, it's 100%, he was on this thing here, it's for sure, it's not a mistake, and he's going to be suspended for some time. Juve, which, it kind of benefits them in a way, they don't have to pay anything and they can just terminate his contract right there because of this.
Okay.
So right now they're kind of like, no one's really like, POGBA really is not saying anything. They're not saying too much. Like, they're saying something, but just without kind of saying anything.
Yeah.
Just to kind of, because obviously everyone's waiting. Everyone's like, what the fuck? What are they doing? What are they going to say? So Juve has to cover their ass. So they came out, said that, kind of protect themselves, protected him, but kind of going to wait and see. So it's only a matter of time. Like, once kind of more stuff comes up about, then we're going to know what's going to happen with him, what's going to happen with Juve, what's going to happen with their relationship.
So you're saying it's testosterone that he was using, or like something that had testosterone
it was a cream that has like a testosterone thing, and it's to help like you recover muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Like the athletes use it to like they'll put on. It's like like a
Voltaren almost. Tiger Bomb.
But wait, it's like the drug. What's it called?
Rub 8535.
Kind of, yeah, but like a strong.
That's gonna say like more of like
yeah.
It's something along that's like a muscle relaxing or something. Was it us? Drew a blank. So obviously, he used this because he's trying to recover, and
yes.
Give me a second. I'm trying to get myself back.
Clearly, he's made. No, I'm just saying. Sorry. He's made out of glass. So
yes,
obviously, this was to given to him to help him with these muscle problems he's been having, and just hopefully to see if this route would have helped.
So my question is, do you think? Obviously, like everyone's against performance enhancement drugs. Obviously, yes, whatever. But for something like this, whereas like, athletes, how many days off do they actually have to rest within a week, especially given how strenuous their schedules are during like the season? Do you think that a drug like this, like testosterone, something a man produces, a hormone, do you think that should be kind of like there should be some leniency with that? Like, do you think they should look at that ruling and kind of evaluate it? You know what I mean?
100%. Like, I'm not saying, they say, oh yeah, hey, you can do whatever drugs you want, or else, soccer's going to turn to like baseball in the 90s that people were getting like 90 home runs in a season. And it was like, oh shit, that's nothing. That guy came in third place for home runs this season. Like, it was fucked. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It's never going to turn like that. But they're not stupid. But I feel like with certain things, like let's say with testosterone, let's say they allow it, they put, regulations on it. Okay. It can't be higher than this much, what's it called? Like the strength of it, I guess. Yeah. Like the strength, whatever.
I don't know what that's
like
actually
a certain
called.
milliliter or whatever. It can't be like a certain thing that, they can't put over that limit, or else, it's the technology now they can find out. They can put that these tests, whatever, they see how much is in their system, and they can tell if they're using too much or too little, and then go through these drugs and see, okay, what's a performance enhancing drug and what's just like a drug that helps recovery and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, like, your body produces testosterone.
Yeah.
Some people, they don't produce enough. So people will take these kind of drugs to help with that. And I think it's not a miscommunication, because like he knows what he was doing. He knows in Italy, like the rules are different. It's strict. But I mean, like it's just cream to help him recover and his body recover. These guys, like these soccer players, they're training 5 days a week, playing twice a week. Like their schedules are fucked, man.
It's not exactly
everyone's body is like, no one's body is different. These players are just like us, obviously just more in shape. But things can happen to us. Things can happen to them, and as you get older, recovery is longer because your body's not like when you're young. You can do whatever you want when you're young. When you start getting older, you got to take care of your body. Like you look at a guy like Ronaldo, guys never had injuries, especially now to he's almost 40. But you see the way he takes care of his body. I'm not saying Pogba doesn't, but some people, they have these muscle issues, whatever, just can't get over them. And they need stuff like this, obviously, if it's regulated, to help them keep going and move forward, man. These guys, when they're playing fucking a game on Wednesday and then another game on Saturday, like you're telling me they can't use any of this stuff to help them. No wonder they're fucking killed. No wonder in the last couple of years you're seeing all these injuries skyrocket now with these players. Yeah, something has to change.
For me, like with all the science they have nowadays, technology, this, that, whatever, like there's certain things that like a simple pump of testosterone like that. Like I personally don't see something wrong with that, like you said. Because for me, like I'd agree with you, recovery is a key thing for getting a player back to his best. Like when are you most vulnerable to injuries and stuff like that? When your muscles are fatigued, when you are fatigued, like, you know what I mean? Like that is when your body is more prone to injuries, especially long-term injuries like tearing your fucking Achilles, tearing your ACL, meniscus, this and that, like obviously these players, like they have their little pools that they walk in, they have their little recovery regimens,
natural things, but man, like sometimes you need a little bit of help.
Like sometimes, especially as you get older in your career and stuff like that, if you want to stay relevant or whatever it is, like you have an injury that's just dragging on. It's a perfect way to kind of recover faster.
For mine, when I got my surgery, and then when I started playing again, I got fucking steroid shots in my knee. I got it for a couple of weeks. I got it like once a week.
We also
to help. No, I'm not a professional, but I'm saying but that's it helped in the process of recovering. It really helped me, and I felt the difference. And I didn't feel like, dude, all of a sudden I could kick a ball, through a fucking brick wall, and I had this super strength. It helped my knee recover, and made me feel stronger in my leg and in that area, and it just helped with the process.
Yeah. Obviously, like there's a difference between, like you said before, there's a difference between performance enhancement, and literally recovering.
Like if
he's not trying to Barry Bonds it over here, and
if I'm taking stuff that's gonna make my game better, and without this, I could never play to that level or to that game. 100%. Spend that guy for 5 years, 10 years. I agree 100%. But if you're taking something that's not making you any better, it's just helping your body in a recovery and just helping your muscles and everything, I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah,
I really don't.
I agree with that.
Like I don't know. It might just me. Like I'm not biased. I know it's Juve. I know it's Pogba. I love him.
He's biased.
People will say I'm biased. I could be biased, but I'm like, if this was anybody else, I'm telling you, it's so stupid.
Yeah, I do agree.
It's fucking, especially something like this, man. If you tell me like, he was taking fucking steroids and like he was actually like, and you can see it.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. What about Goretzka and when they won the Champions League? Tell me he wasn't on anything.
Yeah, he was on it. Well, that one year. Remember that 1 year with Atalanta? When it was like Gosens, Hateboer, like that 1 year, all these guys were on demon time, like ran for 150 minutes plus.
They just never got drug tested.
It's like, wait, what the hell's going on? How are these guys doing that right now?
It's fucking stupid.
But I mentioned Robin Gosens, so why not talk about how Germany's mudded again?
Hold on 1 second.
Oh, wait,
hold on. Before we get into this Germany thing, that was only the start, Joe. I still got to talk about Bonucci.
Oh, I didn't know you actually wanted to talk about it. I was trying to save you the embarrassment here, but okay. Embarrassment. Cool, let's go,
he's
buddy.
He's a fucking embarrassment.
Here we go.
He wants to be a club captain, a club legend. A club legend never leaves a club. A club legend doesn't celebrate when they score against said club. A club legend doesn't try to, when the club says, hey, you know what? Like, this is it. Let's, mutually agree. You end your contract, you leave. We leave on good terms, and that's it. You start throwing a hissy fit, doing all this stuff, and then come back once you do leave and come back and you want to sue the club and this and that and attack the club. You don't do that.
Why is he even suing anyways? Like, what was it, like
wrongful termination? Wrongful termination, because the way they pushed him out and they didn't allow him to join them and all that. Like, dude, look at you when you were told Buffon, when they told Del Piero, legends who still came back, who still say how much they love the club, literally said to them, we're not offering you a contract for this. Your contract runs out. Like, that's it. Like, let's end off on a good note. Let's not be sour about that. And they both agreed. Del Piero still wanted to play. He went to Australia. Buffon still wanted to play. He went to PSG.
Pretty crazy.
They did their own thing. They didn't say nothing, and they came back. They come back with. You think Bonucci, after this whole thing, you think he's ever going to get invited to the stadium again?
He's done.
He ruined his. He ruined his whole. He ruined it the first time. You think he would have learned? He's doing the exact same thing again.
Yeah. Well, it's like when Fazio left Roma. I know obviously different statures at their club, but Fazio too, like when he was leaving Roma, he decided, oh, the way they parted ways with me was wrongful.
Yeah.
They didn't allow me to train with them, this and that. It's like, buddy, like they told you you're not in the plans. You were the one that declined loan moves and other moves.
You're the one
like
making it hard.
You're the one that made it difficult for you to start training again. When the club clearly said to you, hey, you're done here.
Yeah.
We don't want to terminate you because we can't afford to. So say yes to any fucking offer that's coming your way. And that's what happened. Bonucci had offers.
Yeah, I know.
Before
he kept saying no,
Union
and then he went to
Berlin, he
Union
had
Berlin.
Lazio. I think Roma even torqued for him for some reason.
I think Genoa too.
You know, like there was teams offering him. He was the one that was saying no.
Yeah.
So in saying
and
that,
ended up
like
going to Union Berlin because there was nobody else at the end.
At that point, then it's
He's
like,
an
dude,
idiot.
you have no one else to blame but
Like,
yourself.
If he
and
goes
honestly,
through with
man,
this
like,
and like tries getting something out of Juve, he's an absolute idiot. And
I mean, he was always an idiot.
The last thing I just want to touch quickly, because obviously, like, there's not literally after that tweet I sent you that night there, I haven't seen anything else about it. Well, like the Juve sale. If that does happen, I hope. I know, like Agnelli, the family, everything's fucked up right now. I hope if they do sell, they're not stupid and they sell to the right people. And I honestly hope we start the trend of bringing the Saudis to Italy. If we get an American as an owner, Joe, I'm done. I'm not watching Serie A. I honestly, I'm so scared for what would happen.
Dan Friedkin sells Roma and buys Juve, and he flies himself there.
And then fucking Redbird comes in and says, "Yeah, we're gonna be part owners.
You guys are gonna get Blackbird or
the
Zebra
the
Corporation.
Zebra bird.
It's gonna come out of nowhere." Like, fuck. Now, honestly,
there's one thing I'll say about that, Joe. If it does happen, I want to see Saudi because at least we'll have money. We'll be able to invest it. We'll be able to actually do something rather than an American. Because I see the way Milan's going. I see the way Roma's going. Not the greatest. Roma's not spending any money, and Milan is literally selling.
We're balancing the books. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
We don't have the mob money
Milan
like
now. This whole
Juve
thing.
had.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Whatever. This season, however it goes, a lot of the players they got, great players. A lot of them risky players. But if it works out in the end, they look like geniuses. But what do you think is going to happen next summer? You think everybody's going to stay again?
It's going to be a vicious cycle.
It's either going to be Theo, Leao, or Tomori because those are the three most valuable guys that you're going to sell. Best thing they do is they sell Tomori because he's been, and I feel like they can sign like a Scalvini or something and have.
And they
like
also
a
have
defender.
at least decent enough center backs to replace him with.
But if they
Coluccia.
lose like Theo or Leao, that's going to be the biggest loss for them.
Yeah.
And you know what's going to happen. They're not going to be able, okay, I know now we're going to be good. Unless one of these guys that they signed this year go absolutely off and then like PSG comes in and tries buying like Chuck Weezy for like 90 mil. That's only saving grace for them. But that's what Americans do. It's always try to get, positive, and try to do these. I don't want that. I want a fucking Saudi to come in and just start spending money.
I won't lie. I kind of actually like the fact that, like, okay, I agree with you. The Saudis come in, spend the fucking money, not give a shit about repercussions and this and that.
That'd be a big fuck you to the league.
I honestly do like Americans coming in for the reason is like they want to balance it all. They want to balance.
I want to buy and I want to win.
I think the biggest problem with Italian soccer is the mentality of we got to win right now. Fuck balancing the books. Let's fucking give it in. No, you got to build it like a dynasty.
Yeah, Roma.
What about us? Don't talk about us.
You guys need to balance the books, build something.
Yeah, and you guys do.
We need to win.
You guys don't realize that Agnelli might be in debt. That's why he's trying to sell. Poor thing. He has no money.
Obviously.
Ferrari sucks. Fiat sucks. Jeep.
But he's not with all these companies. He's not in debt at all.
At least $30.
One of the richest families in Europe.
Dude, he at least owes $30. Somewhere down the line, you're gonna read that Agnelli owes $30.
He probably does. But it's probably the Conte too. That's why Conte got so.
Nah, you know what I do want to say. While we're talking about that, I do want to commend Beppe Marotta. I honestly want to commend a man like that because you see his work. The reason you realize it more and more as time passes on, especially like I'm not a Juve fan, so outsider eye looking in, but you realize more and more how much of a difference maker he was for them. Agnelli, respectfully to him,
no one was able to fill his role after he left.
And he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not like his father, Andrea. He's just a bum. He's a puppet. Yes, okay, built a brand new stadium. Cool, fantastic.
If Johnny was still around, but
none of this would be happening. Like Beppe Marotta was literally the perfect man because he knew how to run a club. He knew how to sustain everything. Like he was doing wonders for them. And it's a shame he left because look, dude, like, and you saw how Italian soccer, even though it was in a dark period, look at all the guys he's responsible for having on his team, creating. Like Pirlo was finished. he said, no, he's not. Brought him to Juve, dynasty happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he was very good at that. You look at him with Inter,
Fucking hate that
Fratessi,
he went
who
to
just
Inter,
scored a
man.
brace for Italy, Barella, Bastoni. Like, the core of that team is Italian. So he's still trying to, like, build Italian
Do the
soccer.
same thing, yeah.
So hats off to him. I will say, I think he's probably the best technical director, of our generation that we've seen.
Yeah, for sure. In Italy, in Europe, he's up there, man.
Yeah, easily.
He's definitely up there with the shit he's done.
Capitalizes on good free deals, gets the right young players, has the perfect mix of young and old. Like, his teams are just always like he's the brains.
See, and then they got him out because he was the one against signing Ronaldo.
See, a real man. One eye on the future, one eye on
what was
the
going to
present,
happen,
buddy.
man. He knew that. Hey, yeah, look at the big picture. Not worth it.
Speaking of Italy's win,
massive. We finally beat somebody.
Upon not Italian soccer. International break here for 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Hey, I'm good with it.
Freedom speech over here. Italy won. Finally.
Finally. Holy fuck, man.
Against Ukraine, but like we said earlier, their biggest rival, Macedonia,
we fell hard.
Gave them a test.
Give them a test. Give them more than a test, Joe.
I don't know what happened there.
Watching that game, I was genuinely like, what's happening right now? Why? What is this fucking team? How are they playing like this?
How, like, we all
I get the field's horrible, but
it was a
what
potato
the
patch.
fuck?
It was a potato patch. That was a gross
that
field.
potato patch is probably better than that.
Yeah, but I started thinking about this after the game, and like even during the game when I saw them and I saw how like kind of morbid they looked and kind of lackluster, and their defense was good, mid was good, their attack was just shit.
Yeah.
So when I was looking and I saw Immobile still on the fucking field and everybody like whatever, do you think that's kind of like a statement from Spalletti? Because he's been known to make these statements. He's been known to kind of like get the old men out there, bring in the new blood, like stuff like that. So do you think like this was kind of like a fuck you to the FIGC in regards to like, hey, you want this guy to always be on your team, but look what the fuck he did, which is nothing. And then you fast forward today against Ukraine, the first 60 minutes of that game, like Italy was dominating.
Yeah, and the
fluky goal, respectfully.
It wasn't like last game.
bad
Last
turn.
game was their defense and their midfield carrying the whole game.
Yeah, this was
game,
a
like
full,
you seen their
like,
attack, like moving and passing and just everything they were doing. I was like, holy, like, yo, this is Italy. Like, are you sure this is them?
Yeah.
Like, this is the Italy that we've been waiting to see, especially under Spalletti. That that attacks. That just it's you never know what they're gonna like their next move. You don't know who's gonna score. You don't know who to cover because you try coming their attack and then Fratessi is gonna come and score a brace on you.
Yeah,
like.
And that's what I mean. Like, I think that's why Spalletti's the perfect man for us, and then their worst nightmare, the FIGC.
Yeah,
because he won't shy away to say things in public.
No.
He won't shy away to say anything. Like, he's the perfect man for this position right now. And it's still early. Obviously, only 2 games under his belt, and like whatever. So you don't even know what his starting 11 will be consistently.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, I think it's a breath of fresh air already. Seeing the defense. With the fucking youngsters. I love you, Spinazzola, but thank God DeMarco's starting consistently now. Bastoni, thank God you're starting in center back instead of Acerbi, Toloi, or Bonucci. Like, I don't know. For me, again, everyone says Italy's in a dark time. I don't think so. I'll respectfully disagree with everyone still. Like,
it's just the coach they had and just the way they were playing after that whole, like when they didn't make the World Cup. They like from that moment, man. They should have said like we need to change right now. We're not gonna pick up from this. We need to change, and that's a whole nother fucking thing that got fucked up. But Spalletti's here. I'm amped for it.
Yeah,
we're going back to back in the Euros.
Here we go.
Joe's watching every game here because he can't watch any more games at home.
So as a superstitious lad, I'm not gonna lie to you. Every game I set up a TV in my garage because I thought, oh, it's more peaceful. Have a drink, chill out, relax. Every time I've watched a game in the fucking garage, we've lost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like the team I support, the team I'm going for in the moment has lost, Juve was playing Bologna and I'm with my brother. And like, I hate when Juve loses and I'm around my brother because fuck you, Juve fans are annoying as hell. So I'm in my head thinking like, I want Juve to win for that reason. And they lost. Or sorry, they tied. And then Roma, watch them, 2 games, lost. I watched Italy play Macedonia, tied. So I just think it's maybe you got to change it up.
Change it up, man. Change the scene.
Maybe Al's house is the key. Roma did beat the semifinal game.
Where'd you watch the final? Not here.
Not here.
Exactly.
Fucking.
See, man, we got all those 9 years of winning. It's inside here still.
I know.
You gotta watch the games
These
inside
coveted
here.
walls.
It's because the soundproofing. He didn't let the winning exit, so it's just kind of bouncing.
I was gonna
up and
flip your
down here.
table. This table. I was gonna flip. I was just.
Please don't. Please don't.
I got very excited. I'm very Inter, start playing Fratessi though.
Yeah,
Please.
I think that's one thing we can all agree on, and we all realize this game
Yeah.
is please starting him, or else I might start a petition for him just for
to go
us
to Roma.
for us to all pitch in,
Yeah.
pay out his release clause, and then him just go anywhere else
Roma.
to actually play.
I will love him.
I know, Joe. You would love anybody right now. You have Romelu Lukaku. I think you would take anybody right now instead of him.
He scored a brace, that bum. So
Yeah,
whatever.
but
It's
he's
torque
still
for him.
Lukaku. So I mean,
Lukaku.
still Lukaku.
No.
But going back to Italy, we fucking won. We got 4 games left that we need to win. At least 3 of them we should win.
Yeah, wait. I maybe somebody one day could answer this for me. Everyone's at 5 games.
It's because the Nations Cup.
Yeah, but what? We get to play one less game than everyone else?
What do you mean?
Because think about it. If everybody in our group,
Because everybody has only 3 games left.
bro, but every team. Are you listening to me?
Yeah. Go look. If you go look at each team,
Oh my god.
they have only 3 games left.
Okay,
You look at
let's
Italy,
stop this 'cause
we
then I
have
just
4
realized.
games left.
Yeah, one team could have
5
a
plus
bye.
3 is,
63.
and 4 plus 4 is
44.
exactly. See, math
Yeah.
with the ultras.
Yeah.
We don't just talk soccer; we also do math.
I
sometimes.
forgot that teams could have a bye week.
Yep. Just like how Germany had a friendly today.
Yeah.
That finally they won. Actually won
why?
a game. They actually won a game.
The one time every time I bet on
'cause you
France,
bet- it's 'cause you
who's
bet on
supposed
them.
to be this dominant force,
Because Joe's bets.
they fucking
If you guys
lose.
didn't know by now, Joe's Eddie Mush.
Holy
anything he touches
fuck,
turns to
man.
mush.
It's true.
So that's why. That's Germany.
Fucking
German fans,
dickheads.
you can thank Joe actually for your win today, even though it was a friendly. They didn't count for nothing. But yeah, you guys got to win. You broke your what was it 3 or 4 games?
Dude, they lost to Japan.
I know.
Hansi Flick, I'm sorry, is a great coach, and
They
he
were on like a
sucked.
4-game losing streak.
What the like,
Germany.
and Germany and Italy have so much similarities because I will look at you and say, okay, Germany I don't think has the strongest of defense per se, but that midfield is fucking D's. That attack is D.
They always have a good core.
I'd actually just say their mid might be D's.
No, but man, in general, they have a good core.
Questioning everything.
They have a good core.
Oh,
Germany.
yes.
But I agree with it that they are like Italy, and they just sometimes you look at them play and you're like, these are not the
They
same
could
players.
be fielding someone better.
Yeah.
They could, I don't know. There's
the
just
players
something-
aren't playing up to like that level, and like they look completely off. I
Yeah,
don't know
dude.
what it is.
Germany. How would you rank Hansi Flick's tenure there?
I mean, not
considering-
not as good as the ball sniffer over there, but
did he get off? Actually,
all right.
he did get off to a flying start. I was gonna say, did Jurgi Love start off like brilliant, or was he rocky at first? But he was brilliant. At first.
Man, I don't know. I don't think he's this. He's still, how old is he?
Hansi Flick. I
Yeah.
don't even know.
He's still. I mean,
I just-
from his
I was
looks like
gonna
he's
say
probably
he's-
in his 50s, 40s.
Well,
50s.
you saw him with that when he was with the coach of Bayern.
Yeah,
how he
but-
just absolutely dominated the world.
I know,
Never
but
mind
Joe,
just
some
the league,
some
like-
people like, and this comes with age, with experience, just knowledge. People sometimes they can't do it with the national team.
Yeah, they're
It's-
just a club coach.
they're
at first.
exactly, or they just need to figure it out and just learn more and just about the whole world and everything in that of coaching, and then they can move on to the national team. I think it was just too early for him.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't the right move for him or for Germany.
Now, who do you think actually takes over the helms there? Because let's get real. Again, Germany's going to stick with the German coach.
I know.
And there's not many top level German coaches I can think of that are available.
exactly that are available.
That is the $1 million question.
Yeah.
Available.
Like I can.
Because I'd say Tuchel. Because
I was
he's
gonna say-
fucking Tuchel.
I was gonna say either Tuchel or actually I wouldn't even. I would go someone before Tuchel.
Nagelsmann.
No,
Oh, I like that guy.
Jurgen.
Klopp?
Yeah,
Ooh, touche.
he's older. I feel like he'd be more. I feel like he'd be the better guy to kind of revive this German team
After a
and,
Liverpool
and
stint
make
too?
exactly. And like he's done what 8 years now, 7 years at Liverpool.
The reality is, they need a coach now.
Who?
Germany.
No, I
They
know.
can't- Hey, Klopp.
But they can have somebody come in now and then have Klopp come in.
Yeah, but I feel like that's too much of a risk.
After, the
given
Euro.
it's the Euro qualifiers still. Like, what if they don't qualify? Okay,
Yeah.
as Italians, we know what it's like to not qualify and how it's heartbreaking. So, I mean, maybe they suffer 1 year.
That's what I mean. Like, it's kind of look at the bigger
And-
picture and maybe not like rush things now and say, okay, you know what? Let's make this move now. We'll bring him in. He's kind of like interim till, for the qualifiers. If we make the Euro, he does the Euro. And then after the Euro in the summertime, we bring in
interim's
Klopp.
good enough,
Or that.
He did just beat fucking France 2-1.
I mean, it was a friendly. We're gonna have to see but you're gonna have to see in the next qualifier, because those games, when it actually counts and it means something.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's you got to make sure your game plan's down packed and like you guys are ready to go. So it's gonna that's gonna be the bigger test to see with him. That wasn't a sneeze.
Bless you.
Okay, that'll be the bigger test for him rather than this France game. But I still think, hey, you know what I mean? For anything, you come in, you win your first game. It's always good. It's always good to get off.
I actually kind of forgot to ask you this.
What?
Pep Guardiola. Do you actually think like you would? Sorry, I was
gonna say, wait, hold on.
If you see what
as a German coach?
No. Sorry, my little thing.
I mean, hey, we're talking international now, so
but
bad timing.
Do you actually think you'd be a good coach, whether it's for England? You know what? No. We'll stick with the rumor for England.
Stick with that.
England. Do you think Pep Guardiola could be a good coach for England if he took over?
Yes, and I feel like England, if they're smart, they do everything in their power to try to bring him in there, because he goes there. England in the next 4, depending how long he's there, let's say 4 to 6 years, England's gonna win silverware. They're gonna win something. He goes there, and that's what
a young core right now.
They have a great They have a great fucking core.
If you're able to bring that core up with ex-coach
who will be able to get the best out of them, and who's not gonna take no bullshit and still call Harry Maguire and Calvin Phillips just because you have a good relation with them. He's gonna call the guys that should be there, and he's gonna have that selection that he can look at anywhere, any team he wants, and bring in those guys.
Yeah.
It's like Spalletti said for Italy. Like, now is the first time that he can, ask for anybody he wants, and they'll get him.
It's true.
Pep now has that freedom. He can look at any team in the Prem or anywhere where these English players are, and bring in whoever he wants. And it'll be a good test for him. He did it. He won the treble with Barca. He won the treble with City. He won the league and the League Cup with Germany. Where he can do it in Italy, but I mean, not a good time.
Nobody
right
has
now.
money.
Like, no one has money to pay that guy.
Like,
he's too expensive.
Yeah.
So the next best thing, and it will just be on him, because obviously he won't be getting paid as highly with the national team. But I'm pretty sure if England would work something out with sponsors and everything, that he'll get a somewhat decent pay. And at least with him too, he can really, like, I know it's still going to be a lot of work for him, especially when the tournament comes around, but it'll be a nice little break for him.
Yeah. Because,
man, you can tell, and he says all the time how stressed he is and how stressful like the job is of being a coach, and especially for like a team that you're playing 2-3 games a week. Like, it's a very stressful thing. With the international, you're kind of, it's a little bit more laid back for the most part throughout the year. Like, you're kind of just watching games, seeing who you want to call up, seeing how you want to play, trying to kind of getting everything figured out. And then you get your guys there every so often during the international break, and then you can show them, your plans, your ideas.
Yeah.
Try to bring it to life, and then go from there.
It wouldn't, like, I honestly think
I could see it happen, and it's a win-win, I think, for both.
I hope it doesn't happen. Now, I'll be honest with you, because I do think it's a recipe for success.
It is, 100%.
Because the only other team I could see Pep taking over and becoming a powerhouse with internationally would be Spain.
Well, I was going to say, obviously,
because
Spain.
The way they've always played, and like, exactly,
Who wouldn't want, like, look at Spalletti, the way he's been talking about how proud he is to, like, coach the national team.
For me, I would hate to see England get some silverware because of their fans.
I
know,
Joe.
You guys twerked when Italy lost.
As an Italian too, I know just as much as you with Italians and English. It's not like a rivalry, but it is.
Yeah,
like it's a newfound rivalry that, like, recently, like, from the time Pirlo chipped Joe Hart to, like, now we're facing them in finals, semifinals here and there, and like they're becoming a rival. It's always kind of the same result. Italy's always coming out victorious.
Don't say that, because last time we
lost, but obviously that's not always gonna happen. We're gonna have a time. It might be next time we play them, or in the Euro Cup or in the World Cup. We play them and they end up beating us, and they're gonna celebrate. It is what it is. The fans are gonna talk shit, but at the end of the day, we were all chirping, "Oh, it's coming, Rome! It's coming, Rome!" Like,
well, that's because they started it.
If it's given it, you got to be able to take it.
Yeah,
man. Your team's not always gonna win. I know, but hey, your team's not gonna always win. This is coming from a Juve fan.
I was just about to say, you're telling a Roma fan who never wins.
This is coming
anything.
from a Juve fan, man. Hey, if you're gonna give it, you got to take it. That's just how it is.
Well, on the topic of giving and taking, that's it.
We've given you everything. Now take it and go. Come back next week. Like the little thing there.
I don't know what that was, but what he said. Don't forget.
Yeah, Joe's gonna be in the laughing thing. Don't forget to like, subscribe
go.
our YouTube channel.
What
Don't forget
the
to follow
heck?
us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at UltrasXI. And guys, let us know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to leave a like on the show on Spotify and Apple Music. And check us out. The video will be out tomorrow on YouTube. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Ciao, ciao.